doesn't stop there. Every single time we feel like we hit a benchmark, she just keeps going more and more. Still losing about 1 to 2 pounds a week off and on, and it's been amazing to see. And this is probably someone asked me the other day, like, is this the biggest transformation that you've worked with? And I was thinking about it, and from a weight standpoint, like I've helped a lot of people lose 100 pounds, or just us as a gym, we've helped a lot of people lose 100 pounds, but this is definitely the biggest total transformation as far as mindset, like just becoming a completely different person. So we know like this weight's going to stay off, which is really cool. As you know, there's a lot of people that lose weight and kind of gain it back because they didn't fully transform. But this is definitely the biggest overall transformation. So without further ado, this is Daniela.
Hi.
So we're just gonna kind of jump right into it. And if you guys do have questions throughout this whole process, feel free to ask questions down below. We won't be able to get to them during the live, but we could go back and answer them for you later. So Daniela, let's just go ahead and start off with your backstory. Kind of where did you come from? What started it all? I'll let you take over.
Yes. So I started, okay, so I'm not going to quite get into where I started from yet. But so I want to say like 2012-ish is as far as I can remember, probably being the biggest I've ever been. I never weighed myself. It wasn't something that I did just because I didn't want to know how heavy I was. But if I had to guess by looking at pictures, it's probably like easily maybe 280, but I don't have proof of it, so that's not my starting point. But so I was just kind of every day, the hubby and I would go out to either buy food, bring it home. Out of the 7 days of the week, probably 5 or 6 of those meals were just either takeout, we would go out to eat, whatever. Just, first of all, extremely expensive. Second of all, definitely not a good way to live. But it was easy. I would wake up. I've always been a morning person, so I would always wake up, drink my coffee, sit in front of the TV for 3 hours before I had to go to work. Literally just sit there, watch TV for 3 hours before work, come home during lunch, eat whatever garbage I could find, and then just watch TV again. After work, same thing, eat TV. It was just like the most sedentary lifestyle, I think, ever. And I work in customer service, so I was sitting down most of the day, probably about maybe get up 3 or 4 times a day, if that. And it was just, that was it. That was my life. That is how I got to be close to 280 pounds, probably. So, yeah, and I just kind of, that's what I did. That's how I got as big as I was.
All right, so you're around 280. So I something just kind of popped in my mind. So when did you have like thoughts of wanting to work out at that time, or?
I don't know that I had thoughts of wanting to work out. I think I just always felt like I was never gonna be. Well, first of all, I don't think I saw myself as big as I actually was. I don't think I really I knew I was bigger. I didn't realize how big until now that I see. It was just kind of like in my head. I didn't see it. I knew it was a problem, but I was healthy. I I wasn't diabetic, I guess, but then again, it could be because I was still in my 20s, so I hadn't got that far yet. So I don't think I really thought there was any big issue with it, and I hadn't really put any thought as far as like I need to fix it. I mean, I knew I didn't feel good, but I just didn't. It wasn't a big issue for me at that particular moment.
Okay. And then, all right, so you're sitting down, Netflixing and chilling all the time, going out to eat with the hubby. And then, so what initially made you want to start this health journey?
So the biggest thing is my grandpa died in 2015. He died due to complications of being diabetic. He had, I believe it was 7 years of in-home dialysis that since I was young, I knew he was diabetic. My grandmother's diabetic. My mom is diabetic. My sister, who's only 3 years older than me, is diabetic. And this was, again, in my mid-20s. So to me, it wasn't, I guess I didn't really realize how much these illnesses could actually affect you long term. Like it was just, okay, you have to stick a needle in your finger and check your blood. That's the extent that I knew until my grandpa died. It hit me hard. Like it hit me really hard. Thankfully for myself, I spiraled in a positive way where I felt like I needed to do something because that is not where I wanted to end up. I was 2015, that was 5 years ago. So I was 31 when he died. So to me, it was just kind of like, I need to fix it and I need to fix it now. And it was kind of, I don't know, I'm a very big believer in signs. So we got a flyer in the mail from the gym saying $20 for the gym membership. So I was like, okay, I'm in, I'm going. So we went, I want to say like a week after he died to go get a membership. The day of my grandpa's wake, I got a text message from from like the fitness manager at the gym offering us a free session. So again, I took it as a sign, like, this is my grandpa telling me, you have to do this. You need to do this. So that's what I did. I went all in right off the bat, not with anatomy, but with through crunch, which eventually led me to anatomy. So it
Yeah.
was there.
No, I mean, I think you had some key points there where you said like almost every single person in your family had diabetes.
Yeah.
And you didn't really think much of it. It was just kind of like, I think a lot of times we're in these bad situations, but we don't realize how bad they are just because it's our normal. Like
Yeah.
everyone kind of has their own normal. And the other thing is, you said you could have went one or two ways. Luckily, you went in the positive direction, which is huge because a lot of times people will take the same exact situation and then go the opposite route too.
Yeah.
So kudos on that. So you started at a corporate gym, and so you signed up for the $20 a month, and you got a trainer. Was that what it was?
Yes. So right off the bat, because I knew I couldn't do it by myself. I didn't know what I was doing. I had never stepped foot in a gym. Well, I had stepped foot in a gym. Again, I was in my 20s, but I had gone into, I can't even, Curves, I think it's called. That it was literally like just a bunch of 60-year-old women that were like, doing like a few things, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But just for me, it didn't do anything. It was very nothing. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. So it was offered. I clicked with my then trainer, Sierra, right off the bat. And it was just kind of, that's what I did. But we did 4 times a month. 4 times a month for 30 minutes was like $300. And it was insane. So to me, it was just kind of like, okay, well, that's all we can afford. We can't really afford much more. But 30 minutes a week didn't really do anything. It didn't do anything.
Right, right. So I mean, you say you didn't do anything, but do you remember like any kind of, like, how long did you do that for? The 30 minutes, 4 times a week?
I want to say probably like 10 months.
Okay. So for 10 months,
Yeah.
What made you stay? Were you like slowly losing weight? Or did it just make you feel better? Like you're going in the right direction?
I felt like I was going in the right direction. I did initially lose probably like maybe 20 pounds, 25 pounds, because I think at that point, any movement was just going to drop weight. So I did lose weight for a little bit, but then it was kind of, I hit some point where it was just kind of like, okay, we're done. Now you have to do a little bit more. So I started adding supplements and like just adding protein, trying to eat better, but it was just kind of like unrealistic because it was just kind of like, you have to eat fish, you have to eat fish. I don't like seafood. So
Right.
it lasted maybe about a week and a half, and I was kind of like, nah, I'm done with it. I can't do this. So
Yeah.
I've discovered about myself, I'm very, very big on accountability. I need somebody pushing me.
Yeah. And
Constantly.
I think that's what you said is huge. And one thing we talk about a lot is the biggest problem with personal trainers and 90% of the gyms out there, even we used to do it, to be honest, is there's this template nutrition plan. You fit this mold. You need to eat chicken and fish to be healthy, and do it. But as we know, will people get results on that? Yeah, for a short time until they realize this doesn't fit with their lifestyle, right? And all right, so you worked with the trainer for 10 months, and then did she quit training there? Is that what made you two stop?
Yeah, well, yes and no. She quit, but then she got let go unexpectedly, like very last minute, very last minute. And I kind of was she was the only person I had worked with, so I was just kind of like, I don't want to deal with anybody else. So I decided stupidly, but not stupidly, to just, okay, that's it. If she's not going to be my trainer, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I was just upset about the whole, like, what led up to her getting let go. So I just didn't want to go back there. I didn't want to go back there. And I think it was like 2 months I was off it completely, like completely off it. I'm not going back to the gym. I'm not doing anything. I just kind of went, I'm not doing anything anymore. And everything, all the weight I had lost, which is probably at that point maybe like 30 pounds, it went back up. Probably gained more. I don't remember.
Okay. Uh, all right. So luckily, her trainer actually started training with me.
Yep.
Super cool girl. And then she actually referred Daniela
Mm-hmm.
to me to start training. So that just kind of shows like, even if your first steps aren't the right steps, like just getting started could be that catalyst to other events happening in your life. So, what was it like? Like, so you showed up at our first gym, like in the alley of somewhere. Um,
I did.
so we started training, and then what was kind of the experience starting with that?
I think immediately I knew it was different. Immediately, just right off the bat, I knew it was different because it was like, it was very no pressure, but also accountability. And I think that was one of the key things that you said, which is what makes you a good salesman, is accountability is my expertise. I'm pretty sure that's what you said. And it just clicked because you said, I don't really feel once or twice or once a week is going to be sufficient if accountability is what you're lacking. And it was very true, but that's what I was used to. So I was extremely scared because, again, I was used to 30 minutes sessions, whereas with you, it was 1 hour. And I remember that alley that you're talking about was like the tiniest little parking lot in comparison. And the warm up was doing a lap to the palm tree and back, and I did a lap halfway to that palm tree, and I felt like I was going to die. Like, it was probably not even the long part of a track. No, it definitely wasn't even the long part of a track.
It was like 50 steps.
And it was awful. It was the worst. And I remember thinking, how can I not even just jog there? And but it's where I knew I needed work. And it was working. I felt really good. I felt really good after the workouts. So,
Awesome, awesome. So
yep.
we were there for probably a year, maybe, and then us as Anatomy, we expanded, and then we started doing boot camps as well. So not only were you training with me, I think 3 times a week at
Yep.
that time, you were also doing boot camp 6 days a week, and then you were even doing like some cardio classes sometimes, like twice a week. So usually I say like the most committed person works out 6 days a week, an hour a day. You're working out like 6 days a week, 3 hours a day.
It was pretty insane. I did the math last summer. It was last summer in July because I started doing the Strong by Zumba classes also, and it was to the point where I even said it jokingly to the other people in the boot camps that I've established myself where if I was not there at 5 a.m., somebody needed to call the cops because something happened to me, because I was very, very present. If you were there at 5 a.m., you saw me there. It was a fact. And I was there, like you said, 5 a.m. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. on Saturdays, and 3 days a week training with you, 2 days a week in the afternoon doing Strong by Zumba just because I loved it. But my body did not like it. I was tired. My body hurt. And fast forward November November of last year, from January to November, on that goals wall, it said to lose 50 pounds in 1 year, and I had lost 15 pounds. My goal was 50 pounds in 1 year, which I didn't feel was unrealistic because that's a pound a week. But I had lost 15 pounds in 11 months.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of explain this for them right here. So about a year and a half, she lost 50 pounds, but and from January of 2019 to November of 2019, so that 11-month period, working out 9 times a week, she only lost 15 pounds. So some may be like, well, it's better than nothing, right? But then if you're putting in that much effort, like it's extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
And I think it's just usually what most people's mindset goes to, well, I guess I just need to work out more. I need to work out more. But here's somebody who is working out more and not getting more results. And so we decided to kind of go into a whole new vehicle, a whole new type of program that I recently joined myself a few months earlier. I said, you got to start doing this with me. And which was our, what's now called our Warrior Elite program, which is a one-on-one nutrition coach. And so go ahead. I'm interested to hear your thoughts when I kind of brought that up on nutrition coaching.
So I didn't realize I had only lost 15 pounds in that length of time. I was very active at that point. I was very, very active. My eating, I didn't think was terrible, but also it wasn't great, obviously. I was losing inches, but again, I'm still over 200 pounds at this point. So me being over 200 pounds, not dropping the weight like I felt like I needed to, was extremely frustrating because yes, I'm dropping inches, so that means it's going in the right direction. But when you're dropping inches and not dropping pounds, it's extremely frustrating when you're at that size. It's the most frustrating thing I think that could ever happen. But that's where I was because I knew my body could not handle more workouts. My knee was hurting, my shoulders were hurting. I couldn't do it. And I just felt like I shouldn't have to. So when you brought up the nutrition coaching, I was in because I was like, okay, I obviously what I'm doing isn't working. Something needs to happen. And you make fun of me, but I was eating nachos like every other weekend because I was obsessed, and something needed to change. And so he brought it to me. He said, look, just the first week, just track everything. And I'm a very good listener. I follow instructions well. So he told me to track. I tracked everything. I didn't know how to use my Fitness Pal. I didn't know what I was tracking, but I weighed everything. I measured everything and I put it in there just like I was told. So I gave it back to him after a week. And then you gave it back to me and you said, do this. And I want to say from the beginning, when you gave me a goal, I very quickly realized this requires planning. This cannot be left to chance, because I want to say that first week, I was like, okay, so I planned my meals the way I was supposed to, but then I didn't enter anything until after. So I was kind of like, okay, now I need like 50 grams of carbs. What the heck am I going to do? It's like 8 o'clock at night. And I think I even messaged you and I said, okay, so this is what I'm missing. What do I do? And you said, hit your numbers. And I remember feeling awful, but I got my numbers. And that's when I realized this needs more planning. It needs planning. So from the beginning, I was just I liked it because immediately, I want to say the first week I dropped like 3 pounds just right off the bat, which was insane. And maybe even within 5 or 6 weeks, I had matched those 15 pounds I had lost in the first 11 months.
Yeah, I remember that. It was exactly 6 weeks you lost 15 pounds, and that's what it was like. In 11 months, you lost 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And now in 6 weeks, you lost 15 pounds. And then within your first 6 months, you lost 50 more pounds. So, if you're listening to this, get this. In a year and a half, she lost 50 pounds just trying to work out hard. And then within 6 months, she lost 50 pounds. She 4X'd her results. She went from losing 2 pounds a month to 2 pounds a week. And this isn't, and you can't blame it on water weight or anything like that, because she's been working out. She's been doing everything, eating as healthy as we can, right? But it was just the extra.
Drinking a ton of water.
Yeah, extra accountability and being intentional with what we're eating. And so very quickly after we started the coaching, you broke the 200-pound mark, and
Very quickly.
and I remember asking you, which surprised me, like blew me away, because I always like those big milestones. I always like to just ask, like, when was the last time you were under 200, and you couldn't remember, right?
I still can't remember. I
So
still can't remember.
what was that feeling like when you finally like saw that 199 number?
Oh, I literally want to cry thinking about it because I remember that I had I didn't weigh myself, or did I weigh myself? Maybe I did weigh myself at home, but I did the in body when I got to the gym. I did the in body, and when that thing printed out and it said 199, it it just blew my mind. It blew my mind completely. And then I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to make a big deal because I'm just very, I don't like being the center of attention. And of course, you're the exact opposite. So you like made this big deal and then you're like, oh, let's take a picture. Let's take a picture. And that picture, my face is like beet red because I was trying to hold in the tears. And I literally, when I was driving home, I started crying because everybody was being so supportive at the gym. I remember seeing Carmen. I remember seeing just Pam was there. I remember everybody. And everybody just was so supportive and just the community of everything. And I, as I was driving home after Saturday boot camp, I cried because I was like, I cannot believe, first off, that I'm under 200 pounds because I don't remember ever. I still don't remember, probably not even in high school. Now that I look at pictures, it doesn't look like I was under 200 pounds.
Nacho
But
parties.
yeah, not at the nacho parties, but it was the most insane. Like I get so emotional just thinking about it. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And I think that's huge because a lot of times, like, there's so many, like, people who are in your situation still, they tell themselves, like, I can't break 200 pounds. Like, it's my genetics, it's whatever. My whole family's over 200. We just can't get under 200. But you're living proof, like, you've been over 200 since high school.
A majority of my life. Yeah.
And you were able to break through it. And not only that, you hit the 190s, you hit the 180s, you hit the 170s. We're currently like 149, 148. Like it's insane, and you're still losing 1 to 2 pounds a week.
It's insane because I don't remember ever being the size that I am right now. That I genuinely do not remember. The pants that I'm wearing right now are a size 4. They're a size 4. I don't ever remember, like literally in high school, I bought size 16. So I don't remember, I don't know, maybe elementary school probably, I don't know.
So kind of looking back, how has this changed just like your overall lifestyle, like how you live, how you just walk around, sit down, stand up?
It's insanity. It's insanity because I feel like even before, like I've worked in customer service my whole adult life, and I see the difference. Just me, the way I interact with people, the way I talk to people, I feel much more confident in talking to people. Like, not that that matters as far as like your physical appearance, but I just feel like your self confidence is just so much better, and you're able to kind of what's the word I want to use? You're able to project that better. When you feel better about yourself, you're able to project that. Because I remember when I was at my heaviest, I was always very negative. Like, not I don't feel like I've ever been a mean person, but I was just, my outlook on stuff was just very negative. Whereas now it's just like the total opposite. Like I'm just kind of like, whatever. Everybody does their own thing. Everybody, like it's just so much more positive. I feel like I'm just kind of in a very positive state of mind where I see the good in everything because I know there's a possibility for improvement always. And just, I feel like I'm proof of that. Like there's always room for growth. There's always room to be better. And it's in general, I feel like my life is just so much better.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. You made a video the other day, and it kind of like the quote just kind of popped up in my mind where it just kind of embodies everything where it says like you just don't know how bad you
Yeah.
feel until you feel good. like like everyone, like we think how we live is just the norm, and and it's not normal. Like, it's not normal for you to have body aches all the time. It's not normal to be out of breath walking upstairs. Like, that's not what human life is supposed to be about, and it can be better if you want it to be.
100%. And
So,
I agree. Yeah.
so in closing, for anyone listening who might be on the fence of maybe just starting their fitness journey, or they're already in their journey and they want to maybe have a one-on-one coach for nutrition or Warrior Elite program, what would you tell that person?
I would say, first of all, Warrior Elite is like the coolest name ever. If that would, if I wasn't already a fan of the program, if just that name alone is amazing. I didn't, it wasn't called that when I started. So kudos to whoever came up with it. But it's honestly, I'm very, very firm believer in investing in yourself. And it literally is the best investment you're ever going to make is in yourself. I really, very, very from the bottom of my heart believe that. Unless you invest in Google. I mean, but seriously, it's the best thing in my fitness journey because, like I said, I don't like fish. I love nachos. And so balance, life is balance. And you learn so much about yourself. You don't, like right now, my weight is a little bit kind of up and down, but it's not making me freak out because I know stuff about my body that I wouldn't have known last year this time. Like, I don't freak out because I gain half a pound. I don't freak out because, things like that, because I know I've learned so much about my body that, like, certain foods that agree with me, certain foods that don't agree with me, it's such a learning process, and it's such a good thing to know these things about your body. And the only way I would have ever discovered that is through the coaching, like, just because, trial and error, I guess. It's, I don't know. I just feel like you're the best investment you're ever going to make. So.
Yeah, no, I love that 100%. So for anyone listening and want more information on our Warrior Elite program, I'll put the link down below in the comments or wherever you're watching this video. It'll be down below somewhere. And yeah, thanks so much for sharing your story and being transparent with us. Anything else you want to add before we let your fans go?
My fans, all my fans. It's been nice knowing you guys. I'm going to be famous one day.
You just lost some fans.
Aw. Dang it. No, it's seriously just best investment ever.
Awesome.
Just from the bottom of my heart. That's all. That's just what I believe. Best program ever, best investment ever.
Thank you so much, Daniela. With that, I will let you go. And yeah, just thank you again. Let's keep rocking it.